coming to you live from Studio B, and we are opening night of our new exhibit, Flora and Fauna, and celebrating all things related to the Earth. And so here we have Jane Stahl and Sue Bebeck to announce the winners for this show. So I'll hand that off to them. There you go.
Thank you, Amy. Once again, this show is called Flora and Fauna.
Yes.
And we decided we would celebrate, mainly we were looking at the plants and animals, but making a broad spectrum like we like to do. And people just really responded with some amazing pieces as usual. And we got about more than 160, almost 170 pieces. So there's a lot to see. And I'm happy to share with you, but I wanted to go ahead and we're just gonna roll off our...
Before we do that, okay, let me explain just a little bit. I had asked, when Sue came up with the idea of Flora and Fauna, I thought of some of my friends who really, really love, in particular, flowers. And some of those folks who love flowers, we've lost in the past year and some. And I miss them, and it just seemed to me a perfect time to remember them. And so I asked folks who were touched by their existence to perhaps sponsor an award. And so we have a bunch of awards that are sponsored by people who loved people and people that we lost. For example, I want to mention that Jamie and Jeff Casino have sponsored an award in memory of Mary Lou Haddad. The Fracon Farms, Tori Fracon, who had hoped to be here tonight, but because of medical issues, decided to keep us all safe and stay home. But the Fracon Farms sponsored an award for Nancy Lang Boyer. The State Theater sponsored an award for Bonnie Wren, because I believe that Bonnie Wren was the inspiration for connecting Charles and her brother Steve McGuire. And Steve, of course, saved the State Theater a number of years ago. We also have Beth Glick. Glick's Greenhouse sponsored an award for Bob Misko, who of course was connected with Studio B and one of our board members, advisory board members. Who else we got?
We don't have a board, but okay. Well, my mother,
of course,
Carol McMurray, passed this year, so we're remembering her, and so that was another one. And we have maybe one more. And I think
yes, Enoch, Jack Lignelli, Jack and Linda Lignelli sponsored a prize award for Enocha Van Werkhoven.
Yeah.
But there were 6, including your mom, that we are honoring this evening. And what we're going to do at some point is have conversations with these folks who sponsored the awards. And we'll sit down with them and talk a little bit about what they remember special about the person that they are honoring. And Mary Ann Boyer was to be here to talk a little bit about her mom. And she and I will do a podcast in a little bit, and perhaps the folks who weren't able to be with us tonight for medical reasons or weather reasons will join us on one of my Be Inspired podcasts. But I want to thank all of our artists, oh my gosh, and I want to thank all of our sponsors who have been so generous with their finances to help support what Studio B is doing. And of course, we always thank Amy for helping us record and share what's going on here at Studio B. Okay, I know I talk too much, Sue. It's your turn.
Okay, it's all right. I'm a little confused by this one, but I think we got the name wrong. But anyway, so I'm going to just go ahead and start off with the 2 Best in Show, which are not part of the Memory Awards, Memorial Awards, because they are straight from Studio B. We gave out 2, one for Flora and one for Fauna. And I want you to go around and find these while you're doing your tour. But essentially, Jason Moss He is in the Gray Gallery. It's the biggest painting in the whole thing. And his is the Flora. And then basically Judy Lupus here for this little cat back here on the top, you'll see. And that's the Fauna. Those are the two best in show, and they each will receive a $100 award. And then I'm just going to read off the list of winners. You'll find them. Karen Weber back here. At the very back of the room, 2 people are staring at her piece right now. So she's one of them. We don't have them paired up, the people that. Jolie Shylock, which is here. Right here. Kristen Woodward, the large pink one back here. Bill Timmons, you'll find him in the back. It's very turquoisey. Yeah, you'll find it. It's on the inside wall. And then Suzanne Fellows, who's actually here. I saw her. Getting an award. Congratulations. And she's here too. And then Ren Hernandez, also known as Ren Marion on Instagram, is here, and he's getting the Curator's Choice Award. And then Jason Lyons, I don't know where that is.
Jason Lyons.
Jason Lyons. Is it this one?
Yeah.
Or is it?
Well,
I think it's this one. Okay. Yeah, we'll show them that. Yeah, and that's everybody.
Okay.
Yeah. And so thank you, everyone, for submitting again. Actual awards will be here at the end of the show in 3 months. And they were very excited to have people come in and see. And I know it's a snow night, so we may have some other kind of casual opening for people to come to. We have, about 90 days to figure it out. So we'll see you at the next opening.
Very
let
good.
you.
Very good.
Good luck.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting Studio B, and we hope to see you soon.
So just going to say the name and the title, and then we're going to talk to some folks as we run into them. As Jane had mentioned, we have a few special people to remember tonight. In Agata de Vida is an oil painting by Steve Fabian. This large piece, The Lady with the Monarchs. And that is an Ozzie Snedden piece up here. Ozzie always has very interesting pieces that just tell a lot of different stories. A Fresh Start is an oil by Laura Scott Steiger. There's that one. All right. I don't want to forget about our sculptures. We do have 2 sculptures up here. This is a marsh bowl, which is fused glass by Janice Peters. And we also have another Janice Peters here, which is called Red Moon. Okay. All right. Continuing on with some more of our paintings. Oliver, My May Baby. It's a watercolor by Jillian Prout. That's this one down here. And next to that one, we have A Peony, watercolor by Jillian Prout. There's that one. And this is quite an extraordinary frame here we have from Susan Graybert. It's called Wild Bunch. It's an oil painting. And this frame is just really a nice contrast there. Okay. This piece is called Fanciful Flowers. It's a marbling composite by Carol Simonetti. And it's got a really cool 3-dimensional look to it. Looks like purple cone flowers to me. Yeah. Up above, we have an oil on panel by Marianne Bashini, and that's called Flower Head. And you can see, if you look at it from a distance here, we've got a face coming out of the flowers there a little bit. All right, we'll do a couple more, and then I'm going to take a break to talk to some special people. The cardinals up here, they're called Better Together. This is an acrylic mixed piece from Kelsey Showalter. And below that, we have We Are Stardust, We Are Golden, Steve Fabian. Oil on gold leaf. Get a little closer there. Okay. This one is an art quilt from Martha Ressler. It's called Raven 5. It's quilt. Okay. Don't want to forget about this little guy. This is a mixed media from Jason Lyon. Jason is one of our award winners. This is not the particular piece that won the award, but this is a very cool sculpture. It's called Hell Granite, mixed media. All right, we're gonna just take a break from looking at the art to go talk to some special people. So let's walk down this way and see who we can find. Okay, it's opening night here. You can feel the excitement. We're having a great night, great energy here. And we're going to walk on back here.
As I explained earlier, we have folks who helped Studio B honor folks we have lost in the last year or two. And super special to us, of course, was Mary Lou Haddad. And I always think of her and flowers and trees, poppies especially, and even iris. But Jamie Casino here and her husband Jeff bought Mary Lou and Charles home. And so they graciously offered a prize award. Would you like to share some thoughts, Jamie?
So I always say I have the most beautiful home in Boyertown, Pennsylvania, and it's not just the home, it's the love that was put into that home and the beautiful flowers that I have that I don't just keep for us. And when Mary Lou was still with us, I would cut some and bring them to her because it's like, you know, Mary Lou, I would never have these without you. And it's so wonderful to see what she's done over the years, and that was a labor of love. I mean, she truly loved what she did. She had a beautiful greenhouse. We have the most beautiful daffodils I've ever seen anywhere that surround the home. My lilies of the valley that go down the yard are just amazing, and part of the most amazing part of all this is I have learned the names of flowers thanks to Mary Lou, because we would joke, Jamie doesn't know a daffodil from a dandelion, but I do. I really do. And we so love the home, and we so love all the beautiful nature. Even our wonderful, we have grape leaves that grow at the end of the yard, and it's wonderful. Just not that we have grape leaves, that Charles is ever so gracious to make us stuffed grape leaves, and there's so much connection between the Haddads and us. My mother and Mary Lou had the same birthday. They were 10 years apart.
No kidding. I remember bringing a bottle of the bubbly to Mary Lou years ago to celebrate her birthday.
So that was a very special connection. My mother's favorite thing to eat when I would travel, if I found really good grape leaves, I would bring stuffed grape leaves. I would bring them back to my mother. My favorite flower, my mother's favorite flower, was always irises. So when those irises come up, it's a very special memory, and we're truly blessed to have that home, and we're truly honored to be able to sponsor an award in Mary Lou's memory because she was an icon in this town. Our pots along Main Street with the beautiful flowers is something that Charles had did in her honor, and we will carry that tradition throughout many, many more years here in Boyertown.
We're not kicking you out, Charles. Yeah.
You look very comfortable.
Probably the first person that we lost in the past couple of years was Bonnie Wren, and I just want to share some memories I have of Bonnie. Bonnie was probably the very first person who came to our very first opening here at Studio B. And she continued to be the very first person who came to all the openings that we have had. She was a true lover of the arts. She was an artist herself, comes from a very artistic family, and loved Boyertown. And I remember she would come to me often and say, I have a brother who wants to contribute something significant to Boyertown. And I said, well, Bonnie, doesn't he want to support an art studio? And and she said, no, that's not his interest. So I said, well, certainly there are lots of projects going on in Boyertown. And she would come, seriously, every 6 months or so. Have you thought of anything yet? Should I? And finally I said, I tell you what, have your brother Steve give me his email address, and I will share it with the patriarch here of Studio B, Charles Haddad, and perhaps Charles will reach out to Steve and have an idea that Steve might be interested in. Well, I think it took a couple of years until that actually happened. But my memory, and Charles, you can speak to this if you want to, but my memory was that you had sent me an email and said, I had breakfast with Steve McGuire, and in 20 minutes.
We finished an arrangement. It wasn't a breakfast. He came to the home. I don't think it took us 2 years, Jane, more like 2 weeks, I believe, for me to contact Steve.
It took me a few years.
It took you 2 years. But certainly, the contact of Bonnie to you and you to me has created an institution in Boyertown, the State Theater, which is a legacy to our town. And certainly we appreciate all the effort you made and the community has made and Steve has made to make the State Theater possible. I'm very happy that after 6 years of being president, I'm able to pass on the presidency to a new person. Hopefully, Jake Zimmers will be our new president of the State Theater going forward.
So, Jake, tell me a little bit about future plans.
Oof, it's tough. COVID has changed the landscape, that's for sure. It's interesting. We just started popping our own popcorn. There's some neat artistic movies coming out. West Side Story starts tonight. Steven Spielberg. I did cheat a little bit and watch a little bit. He honed true, and there's a lot of callbacks in it. It's interesting. COVID has changed the movie theater industry a little bit, but the State Theater stayed open the entire time through the help of our volunteers.
Isn't that wonderful?
In Bonnie's spirit. I mean, Bonnie volunteered a lot, I was told. I did converse with her sister Debbie a little bit, and one of the neatest things I found out about Bonnie from Debbie was that any artwork that Bonnie did, she would make her own frames, and she would walk around the farm and find old barn wood and make her own frames. And I thought that was just so neat, because when I met Bonnie on the board, it was really, we always would sit across from each other and kind of make faces to see who would crack first. But she was just one of the nicest people I've ever met, and she always tried to get me to go with her to open mic night at the other farm. That's one thing I love Bonnie, because she would always, any handouts, for any organization whatsoever, Bonnie was always trying to get the word out to everyone among the town.
About what was going on.
Yes, about what was going on.
She was a singer, too.
Yes, she has 2 albums on Spotify now. If you want to look up Bonnie Wren, her 2 albums are called Soft Talkin' Blues and Coyote Moon.
Really lovely voice.
Very lovely voice.
Yeah, very good. Well, she was a regular. I could call on her at any point when I needed coverage here at the studio. She was a really loyal volunteer, but I have to tell you, probably the incident that touched me most was she tried to exhibit, bring her work here to exhibit. And I'm not sure she was actively doing art anymore, but she had some in her portfolio.
Yeah.
And she would kind of rotate them every now and then. And even though Studio B insists that new work, nothing that we've seen before,
Yeah.
we could not turn Bonnie down. And I have to tell you, the month before she passed, my son was holding group meetings here called Recover and Discover, something about that,
Yeah.
something like that. Yes, and one of the people who attended his meetings bought one of her pieces, and I was thrilled. I was thrilled for her, and her only comment was, "I should have priced it higher."
She had that wit, though.
She was just great.
And her timing was like an assassin. You didn't see it coming, but it's like, man, when she would crack a joke, it had me in stitches.
Such a beautiful soul.
Yes.
And her legacy remains. And I'm really, really happy that she connected with you, or that Steve ended up connecting with you, and the State Theater is doing well. Now, one question. Any chance that you'll be showing Macbeth?
We're going to try to get it in.
Are you?
We're going to try.
I will be there. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
Actually, we're going to stay back here because it's a little bit more quiet. We're starting to fill up here because everybody wants to see the new exhibit. So we're going to find a corner back here. Okay. We've got a piece from Ivy Egger in the show. This is called Seal Harbor. And there's a little bit of a reflection. So I'm going to try to do it at an angle that's always a little tricky. You're just going to have to come in here and see it for yourself. Super cute. Got some seals on the rocks here. Okay. Breath of Life. This is acrylic and epoxy by Nicole McGonigal. There's that one. Okay. Aquatic Awakening is another piece from Ivy Egger. And this one's a little less reflective. You can see the detail there. Okay. Up here we have Blossom, which is acrylic pouring from Trudy Moore. And next to that we have a Flora and Fauna piece from Bill Timmons, and this is also an acrylic piece with some really vibrant colors coming out in that one. You can see some birds hidden in there. Okay. And next to that, Lilacs, which is an acrylic from Paula Kay. There we go, Paula Kay. All right. Fracture Sea Tulip, Glacé from Peter Ramson. There's that one. Again, we have a little reflection, but you can still appreciate the color contrast there. If you see something that you like, please give us a little shout out in the comments, and I will try to get more information. Okay. This one is called Mirage. This is an oil from Rebecca Rohrbach. Okay, and above that, Gnarled Arbor, a mixed acrylic from Tracy Meitzler. I'm going to have to back up for this one. It's a large piece. Just love those vibrant colors. Okay, moving down here, the Sunbather. This is Jay Ressler. This is an acrylic. The focus of our show tonight is Flora and Fauna, so you're going to see a lot of really cool art inspired by the earth. Here's a rooster. It's an oil piece from Jean-Marie Baldwin. And above that, a piece from William Powell, Eastern White Pine. That's also an acrylic. Okay. Maxine Rhodes submitted this beautiful fused glass piece called Poppies. Okay. All right. This piece is another large piece. This is called Say It With Flowers. And this is from Jason Moss. You can see it's very sizable. Okay. This piece is from Laura Brombach. This is called The Fisherman. It's an oil. Above that, we have a photo on wood from Greg Didyoung. This is called Cat Hole. Another William Powell piece. This one is called French Toast with Berries, and this is an acrylic. This one is also an acrylic from Annalee Hudson. It's called Palm. Another Annalee Hudson, Fragrance After Rain. Okay, moving right along. Again, we're going through these fairly quickly, but if you see one that you're interested in, we can linger a little bit, zoom in, get more info, whatever you need. This one's called Snowfall Eagle, Wesley Bahoric. This is an acrylic. Above that is another Nicole McGonigal piece. This is called Goddess of the Forest, and this is acrylic. If you couldn't join us tonight because of the weather, we hope you'll come out and join us. This exhibit will be on display for the next 90 days. All right, Kimberly Dawn has a pottery piece called Sunflower Mandala. I think I saw her watching. So if you're watching, hi Kimberly. Okay, here's another Ozzie Snedden piece, The Precipice Worm. And I think Ozzie is here somewhere. I saw him earlier. We have a good number of people here tonight, given the weather. Okay, this is called Taking Back Gaia from Amber Stetler. Okay, below that is another Kimberly Dawn. This one's an acrylic called Primrose. All right, we are going to sneak past. So you're missing out on all the yummy snacks, and we've got some beverages here and some very good energy floating around in the studio. So you're missing a good time here. Okay, this is a piece from Sue Bebeck. It's called Nuts for You. Got a little reflection. I'm going to see if I can move at an angle here so you can see this cute little chipmunk or squirrel. I'm not sure which one, but I guess it must be a squirrel. I see the tail. Okay, so that's from our own Sue Bebeck. Moving along here. We've got two pieces from Krista Bernhardt. The first one is called Autumn Leaf, and the second one is called Burgeon and Bloom. Okay. Terry DeLynn has two pieces in this show. Here they are. The top one is called Koi Pond, and the bottom is called Pagoda Horse. Moving along, we've got Hoboken Sunflowers from Ellen Finks. This is an acrylic.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I need somebody to write it for me. Like,
So we have a mixed media from Alex Crawford. This is called Rosy Maple Moth. And above that, Only Good Things If Flowers Could Blush is an oil from Lauren Brumbach. Okay, we're going to move into the next room here and go back where we left off in the front. And as you can see, we're starting to fill up here. So we're going to go up where we left off. And okay, here we are, back to the little chickadee. That's where we left off. If you see something you like, let me know. I can zoom in, I can go back, whatever you want me to do. All right, this is called Chili Chickadee from Kelsey Showalter, and that is acrylic mixed. Mom's Geraniums. This is a Sue Bebeck oil painting. Let me back up here. There it is. Okay. Here we have a watercolor from Jane DeGrucci. It's called Amethyst and Gold. All right. Virtual Mirrors is an acrylic from Suzanne Fellows. And I know Suzanne was one of our award winners. I don't know if this is the piece or if it's one of her other ones. She has a few in the show tonight. So again, Suzanne Fellows. This is an acrylic. This one is from Jolie Chilak. She actually has two in the show. This one's called Milkweed Make-A-Wish for Monarchs. And this one is called Cardinal Flower, a Streamside Valentine. And these are watercolors. There. Okay, Martha Ressler brings us some quilt art. This is called End of Season Milkweed. All right. All right. Next we have an oil painting from Susan Powell, Rose Finches at Dusk. Okay, below that, Meryl Weber brings us All You Need Is Love. There it is. It's an acrylic. And this one's called Celestial Squash from Anna Swigart. All right. Moving on here, we've got another piece of watercolor from Lynn Millar. This is called Blush. Above that, Pink Trilogy is a photo from Wendy Fox. Next we have a watercolor from Jane DeGrucci. This is called Coral Glow. We have a little bit of a reflection off there, but Good Morning Sunshine is an acrylic from Donna Unger. Okay. This exhibit will be on display for 90 days. Tonight's opening night, but you can come visit another time when the weather's a little nicer, perhaps. Here is Bird Bubble Bath, an ink pastel from Catherine Hamburger. Let's get a little closer there. Bird Bubble Bath. Okay. Hopefully you can hear me okay. It's getting a little noisy here. People are having a good time. Here's Hummingbird Moth. This is an acrylic from Catherine Hamburger. Try to get rid of that glare a little bit so you can see it. There you go. All right. Moving on, we have two pieces from Judy Lupus. And one of these is an award winner. I believe it's the top one. They usually have them marked for me, so that's my cheat sheet. But not tonight, so your guess is as good as mine. I'm just kidding. It's one of these. This one's called I'm Not Listening. And this one is called You Expect Me to Eat That. Both are acrylics from Judy Lupus. Okay. Okay, here's another one that was an award winner tonight. This is called Beauty is Irrelevant. This is an encaustic on board from Kristen Woodward. It's a rather large piece. Let me back up so you can see it. There we go. Beauty is irrelevant. Looks like the dreaded lanternfly there. But they are pretty. All right. Down here we have Queer Wood, a mixed media piece from Alex Crawford. Okay. Next to that, Evolution, Beginnings of Flora and Fauna, an acrylic pouring from Trudy Moore. And here's another mixed media below that from Anna Swigart. This is called Thunder Snow. All right, we're going to go to the other side of the gallery now and start at the front. All right, we're going to start at the front here. It's getting, you can see there's a nice crowd forming down there. Okay, this one is called The Last Apple, and this is an oil from Barry McGuire. And above that is another Barry McGuire. Both of these are oils. There's that piece. Next to that, we have the Yellow Wood Tree, which is an oil from Susan Grabert. Above that, Rhonda Counts brings us Ice Gold acrylic mixed media. There's a little birdie hiding out in there. All right, Jay Wrestler brings us this oil on panel. Out Trap Along the Dew River. Sorry, we're a little crooked there. Working my way around people here tonight. All right. A Tree Grows in Brooklyn from Elaine Saltis. This is mixed media. And get a little closer. You can see some of the cool details on that. If you want more, come on in and see it. Okay. Busy Slice of Life, Susan Powell. The Inscrutable Generosity of Green Things is an oil from Danielle Iacono. Rhonda Counts brings us Snow Creek Moon. This is acrylic mixed media. It's got a bit of a cool texture to it. All right. Here are two pieces from Peggy Hartzell. This is called Emergence. So you see the monarch caterpillar and then the monarch itself. Okay. Another piece from Peggy Hartzell, Summer Moon, mixed media. Okay. And above this, we've got, it's called Persist. It's a bristlecone pine. It's graphite and watercolor from Lisa Schnell. Okay. Next, we have a walk on the Perkiomen Trail, which is an oil painting from Joanne Moy. Another Joanne Moy piece. Above that, What's Wrong, Baby Girl? It's an oil. And let me back up a little so you can see the whole piece. Okay, so here's our award-winning piece from Jason Lyon. This is called Coraline, and I don't know if I can do this piece justice using a camera, but it is phenomenal. Just all the different components to this piece. This is definitely one you're going to want to come in and see because there's just so much to it and so much detail. Okay. All right. Here we have Irish Mountain, a digital photo on metal from Donna Doney. And above that, another Donna Doney, Winter Berries, it's called. Okay. All right, Rebecca Rohrbach brings us Dreaming Cows. This is oil, cold wax. Dreaming Cows. Of that, we have September Doe from Kristen Woodward. Susan Doobie brings us the oil painting above, Carthusian. Okay, Ren Hernandez brings us November Cadence. Now, this was also an award winner tonight. Ren Hernandez. Okay. Harmonic Cultivation is an acrylic from Suzanne Fellows. See, that one's already sold, but you can still enjoy it for 90 days. Okay. This one is called Venus. It's a lino cut from Alyssa Cross. Above that, we have three parakeets, Wesley Bohoric. This is an acrylic. If you see something you like and you want me to zoom in or get more info, please just drop me a comment and I will do my best. This one is called Unison. It's a photo from Walt Hug. Tree Frog is a photo from Jeff Graybert. All right, here we have a sculpture from Charles Emlyn, Simulus Varioso. This is painted steel. Jim Meehan brings us this pen and ink called Wildlife Management. Above that, we have a silk screen called Clematis from Deborah Hamburger. This piece is called Fawn. That's a mixed media print from Sharon Merkel. I saw Sharon here tonight somewhere. Oh, there's Sharon. Hi, Sharon. Wave hi. Hi. So we're just going over your art pieces. Okay. This one is obsolete. This is digital on wood. This is another piece from Gregory Didyoung. I saw Gregory was watching at one point on our live. Okay. All right. More sheep, mixed media print from Sharon Merkel. Okay. All right, Lisa, I'm looking at your message, and I will mention that to Sue and see if we can get that sorted out for you. Thanks for letting me know about the tags. Okay. Here is a watercolor from Lynn Millar. It's called Aiken Parade Pony. And up here we have Monarch Mandala, colored pencil from Brenda Wilton. And that the reflection's a little strong on it, but it's, let me see if I can go at this angle here so you can see it. There you go, Monarch Mandala. Okay. All right, here we have one called Embedded. This is a watercolor from Sarah Gershbach. Again, with a little bit of a light glare. I'll try it from the side here. Okay. Bubbles and Koi. This is a photo from Wendy Fox. All right. Marilyn Bayshore brings us Where the Wild Ones Live. This is a mixed media. And here we have a sculpture from Bob Hakoon. This is called Wrenchmobile. It's an assemblage. There we go. See if we can get a different angle there. There it is. All right. Moving on. Danielle Iacono brings us an oil piece called We Chase After Foolish Fires. And looks like, there's no tag on the one above it, so I'm not quite sure. We'll have to figure that one out as well. It's opening night, so anything can happen. Okay, moving on. Deborah Hamburger brings us a linoleum piece called Irish. Above that, we have giraffes, which is a photo from Jeff Graybert. Okay. Calf Selfie. This is an oil from Jean-Marie Baldwin. And above that, we have another Marilyn Bayshore mixed media. This one's called Majestic View. And we've got some smaller pieces along the bottom there. Okay. Moving on to this far wall. This one's called Cactus Head. This is an acrylic from Jim Meehan. Above that, we have Daycare. It's an oil from Alyssa Cross. There we go. All right. Untitled Tree, watercolor ink from Carly Ramson. All right. Oh, Jane's putting the award winners on for me now. So I'll go back and make sure I didn't get those confused. I said it's opening night. Anything can happen, you know. All right, so there's Carly Ramson, Untitled Tree. Okay, this is called This Is Trash. Mixed media, Dora Samel. One person's trash is another person's treasure, right? So here we have it assembled as art. There we go. All right, we have 2 pieces from Perillo El Esperance. I was gifted with one of Perillo's pieces for Christmas, and that was just a wonderful surprise. So thanks, Mom, and thanks, Perillo. This one's called Bejewel, and this is a clay. And next to that, there's a vase called Flora in Black and White. Clay Peruvian paddle method, it says. You can see the detail on that. Wonderful. Okay. This one is called A Cleverness of Time. This is an oil from Karen Weber. A Wind Song of Balance is an oil from Karen Weber. It is. Okay, continuing on. Here's another assemblage from Bob Hakoon. This is called Late Bloomer. Let's see if I can get some angles for you so you can see the whole piece. All right. Here's a mixed media from Dora Samel. The Goddess in the Machine. There it is. Okay. Here we have an oil from Susan Doobie. Andalusian is what it's called. Gallery Art, Ash Tree and Chain from Lisa Cohn Shell. And I don't know if this is one of the pieces that got mislabeled, Lisa, but we will get to the bottom of it. All right. Fracture di Dahlia, Glissé from Peter Ramson. We saw another one of his pieces in the back room in the Gray Gallery. Okay. Here's an Albert Ciervo piece, Madonna and Bambina, using his signature Venetian plaster wax wood technique, Albert Ciervo. It's a big piece. See if I can back up a little so you can get the whole thing. Okay. All right, Lisa. I will work on that labeling as soon as we stop our tour tonight. So a few more minutes. Okay. All right. So Mother Nature's Gift is paint from Heidi Halpin. Heidi was here earlier. I think she's joining us now virtually. So hi, Heidi. And here we have Sublime, which is a photo from Walt Hug. Got a little bit of a glare, but then there's the moon there, so that's not a glare, that's the moon. All right, I've got to climb behind this desk here to show you the last 2 pieces. They try to make this interesting for me. All right, Bird's Nest 2, Marianne Buscini. There it is. Okay. Oh, hi, Heidi. Oh, Perillo's on too. Hi. Okay. Floral Fireworks, an acrylic from Donna Unger. There we go. And that is our last piece. And we have covered them all. So if you joined us late, you can go back through and you can see the video and catch the virtual tour, or even better, come on in and see us. This is opening night, but we will be on display with this Flora and Fauna exhibit for the next 90 days. And I thank you all for joining us, and we will see you soon.